In the dense, pulsing heart of the world, where the green canopy swallows the sky and ancient rivers wind through forgotten lands, there exist places that civilization has never tamed. Here, the very air is thick with secrets, echoes of stories older than language itself. These are the last forbidden zones, the strongholds of the uncontacted tribes, peoples who have lived for tens of thousands of years without so much as a whisper from our modern world. We like to say they are lost, as if they wandered away from the grand procession of human progress. But perhaps it is we who are lost, and they who have chosen to remain, hidden, vigilant, guarding something the rest of us have forgotten. To most of us, the idea of uncontacted tribes conjures images of fierce independence, of people untouched by technology, resisting outside influence at all costs. But what if that is only half the story? What if, in their silence and withdrawal, these tribes are not simply avoiding us, but are actively hiding something, protecting secrets too profound or too dangerous for the world to know? What if their isolation is a shield, not just for themselves but for the rest of humanity? Let us begin our journey with one of the most enigmatic and fiercely protected groups on the planet, the Sentinelese of North Sentinel Island. This patch of land, lying in the turquoise embrace of the Indian Ocean, looks idyllic from afar, a paradise of swaying palms and endless beaches. But to approach is to court death. For centuries, the Sentinelese have repelled all intruders with unyielding violence. Fishermen, researchers, missionaries, none are welcome. In 2006, 2 men strayed too close and paid with their lives. In 2018, an American missionary attempted to bring the word of his God to the island. He was never seen again. The response from the Indian government is unusually severe. No boats, no planes, no cameras, no exceptions. Even accidental contact is met with immediate evacuation or, if too late, with tragic consequences. The world is told that this is to protect the Sentinelese from disease and exploitation, to respect their right to remain uncontacted. But beneath this veneer of humanitarianism lies a deeper question. What exactly are we being kept away from? Is it merely a culture frozen in time, or is there something else? Something ancient, powerful, and perhaps even dangerous? The Sentinelese have lived in isolation for at least 60,000 years. That is longer than any known civilization, older than the pyramids, older than the written word. Their way of life has remained unchanged while empires rose and fell, while continents shifted and seas swallowed the land. They possess no metal, no wheels, no agriculture, and yet they survive, generation after generation, in perfect harmony with their island. There are whispers, stories carried by sailors and echoed by anthropologists, of legends among the Sentinelese. Tales of gods who came from the sky, of punishments rained down upon those who defied the forbidden boundaries. The elders, it is said, passed down warnings not to let the metal people land, for their arrival would bring ruin. Some speak of glowing eyes in the night, of stones that fly without hands, of punishments from the heavens. Are these merely the imaginings of an isolated people, or are they fragments of a deeper memory, echoes of an ancient contact, or a disaster that scarred the collective soul of the tribe? Travel eastward across oceans and mountains to the tangled jungles of Papua New Guinea. Here, hidden in the mist and shadows, the Korowai tribe builds its homes high above the ground, tree houses perched 30 meters up, swaying in the wind. To outsiders, this seems a whimsical or defensive choice, but to the Korowai, it is a matter of survival. They speak of kakwa, evil spirits, or beings that can possess and destroy from within. The only way to protect themselves, they believe, is to remain above the reach of these entities. Anthropologists have long been fascinated by the Korowai's rituals, particularly those involving cannibalism. But this is not an act of hunger. It is a spiritual warfare, a method to expel the evil that threatens the tribe. To modern sensibilities, it is horrifying, but in the context of their beliefs, it is a vital act of protection. Could it be that these rituals are not mere superstition, but a misunderstood technology, an ancient method for defending against something real, something lurking in the depths of the forest? The Korowai also tell of sky snakes, creatures that appear during storms, trailing fire and lightning, emitting strange sounds. It is easy to dismiss these as metaphors, as products of imagination. Yet in 2012, an oil exploration team reported seeing lights above the jungle, triangular patterns, moving with unnatural speed, accompanied by electromagnetic disturbances that knocked out their equipment. Within 2 days, the team withdrew, shaken and silent. Was this a chance encounter with a natural phenomenon, or evidence that the Korowai's stories are rooted in reality? Venture to the vast green expanse of the Amazon, where the Yanomami live in the shadows of the world's greatest rainforest. Here, the line between the seen and unseen is thin. The Yanomami speak of spirits that dwell between the trees, of portals that open through shamanic ceremony, of voices that descend from the sky. To them, outsiders are not just a physical threat, but a spiritual one. They remember a time when a cleansing fire fell from the heavens, burning the forest and blackening the rivers. This sounds like myth, until one confronts the evidence. Signs of unexplained radiological contamination in the region, stories of illegal testing, and persistent rumors of things that fell from the sky long before Europeans ever arrived. Across the world, from the Congo Basin to the deep forests of Brazil, from the shadowy valleys of New Guinea to the Andaman Sea, patterns emerge. The most secretive tribes inhabit regions that, curiously, are also hotspots for unexplained phenomena. UFO sightings, electromagnetic anomalies, mineral deposits that defy geological explanation. Satellite images reveal patches of land that pulse with invisible energy, zones where compasses spin and electronics fail. It is as if the earth itself is shielding something, and the tribes are both its guardians and its inheritors. Some scholars have dared to suggest that these tribes are not simply remnants of the past, but the last custodians of a forgotten civilization. Names like Atlantis, Lemuria, and Mu are whispered. Civilizations said to have possessed knowledge and technology far beyond our own, destroyed in cataclysm and buried beneath myth. The rituals, the taboos, the sacred places, are they not attempts to hold on to the last threads of a memory erased by time and disaster? The tribe's isolation, then, is not accidental, but deliberate. A strategy to protect the last embers of a truth too dangerous or too powerful for the modern world. Consider the Awa of Brazil, called the world's most endangered tribe. They move through the jungle in silence, children trained from infancy to step without a sound, to vanish into the foliage at the slightest sign of danger. They claim to speak with birds, to understand the language of trees, to sense the approach of outsiders long before they arrive. Is this merely the product of a life deeply attuned to the forest, or something more? Some believe the Awa possess abilities lost to modern humanity, a psychic connection to the biosphere, a genetic inheritance from a time when the boundary between human and nature was more porous. The Awa's elders tell stories of the time before time, when the sky was red, when the moon spoke, when beings of light walked the earth. They speak of a transformation, a sudden change in the heavens, and the disappearance of these beings. But before they left, the elders say, these visitors made a promise that they would return. Every full moon, the Awa leave offerings, not to animals or ancestors, but to the ones who wait in the sky. Again and again, a pattern emerges. The uncontacted tribes of the world tell stories of beings from above, of forbidden zones, of warnings not to trespass or dig too deeply. They speak in riddles and metaphors, but the message is consistent. There are places we are not meant to go, things we are not meant to know. The silence that surrounds them is not just the hush of the jungle, but a wall of secrecy, built for reasons we may never fully understand. Why are governments so quick to enforce strict no-contact policies, sometimes even using military force? The official explanation is always the same: to protect the tribes from disease, from exploitation, from the corrupting influence of the outside world. But is that the whole truth? Or is there an unspoken fear of what might happen if the secrets these tribes guard were ever revealed? Perhaps these secrets are not just about the past, but about our origins, about who we are and where we came from. Perhaps they are about what sleeps beneath the earth or what waits beyond the stars. Perhaps, most unsettling of all, they are warnings of what is yet to come. We, in our cities of glass and steel, pride ourselves on progress. We believe we have left behind the darkness of superstition, that we have mapped the world and tamed its mysteries. But what if the greatest mystery is not what we have discovered, but what we have forgotten? What if the uncontacted tribes are not the ones left behind, but the ones who hold the key, the map to a world we no longer see? In the end, the story of the lost tribes is not just a tale of anthropology or adventure. It is a story of survival, of secrets kept in the shadows, of knowledge too dangerous to be spoken aloud. It is a story that asks us to reconsider who we are and what we are willing to see. Perhaps, in our relentless quest for progress, we have lost more than we realize. Perhaps, in the silent depths of the jungle, the last guardians of truth are watching us. Not with fear, but with a solemn understanding that some doors once opened can never be closed. In the darkness at the edge of the known world, they wait. And perhaps, just perhaps, they are not hiding from us. Perhaps they are hiding us from something else.